Basuki Cahaya Purnama, who is known simply as Ahok, is Indonesia's most controversial person. The Christian governor of Jakarta has become the target of the largest protests in Indonesian history. But opinion polls held after this massive protest on December the 2nd, when hundreds of thousands took to the streets demanding his arrest, suggest a rise in approval ratings. Despite his blasphemy trial for questioning the use of a Quranic verse.
A few months ago, his popularity went down drastically because of his remarks about the Quran. But now we see that people are rethinking this. People now think more about the future of the city and the leader they want for Jakarta.
Polls show that responding to the annual flooding of the capital is seen as Ahok's biggest achievement as a governor.
The floods were 1.8 meters high when I measured them. The water came up to here. In 2007, the water came up 3 meters and even reached the second floor. But since 2014, we've had no more flooding.
Residents of Kampung Melayu, one of Jakarta's worst-hit areas, are happy with Ahok, who cleaned up and widened rivers to prevent flooding.
Personally, I separate his court case from his work as a governor. I leave the court case up to the judges, and I support a principle of presumption of innocence. What I want is him to be elected again as governor so he can continue his work.
But the outspoken governor, known for his no-nonsense approach, has also made enemies. In his efforts to clean up slums, he created resentment for not giving alternatives to the thousands who lost their homes. Anti-Chinese slogans heard during protests organized by hardline groups like the Islamic Defenders Front are also being heard here in these slums.
I'm more than disappointed in him. I will be disappointed for the rest of my life. I would even kill him. Who is Ahok really? Ahok is Chinese.
Groups like the Islamic Defenders Front have found allies in their fight against the Jakarta governor here in these slums. The governor has become the common enemy of anyone with political, religious and economic interests ahead of Jakarta governor's elections next year. A political battle that is now being played out on the streets. The embattled governor himself has clearly toned down his language since he went on trial and denied insulting Islam. Ahok, you still think you have a fair chance to win the election?
No comment.
His election chances will depend on the blasphemy trial, which is predicted to last for months. If re-elected on February the 15th, but convicted and jailed, his vice-governor is expected to take his place. While Jakarta remains one of the most congested cities in the world, what matters for its 10 million residents is that the city becomes more habitable, whoever is in charge. Step Vassen, Al Jazeera, Jakarta.